Hello, freak bitches.
And then at NYU, I was going to do that talk. I got pepper sprayed, perfectly legal, if they can argue that
Now, who pepper sprayed you, and did you see the person doing it, and do you know who they are?
They are all the same. They're all middle-class kids of professors. They all live at home. They all look exactly the same. They look British.
How do they look British?
I don't know. They have like these angular features and these Roman noses and glasses. They all seem to look exactly the same. There's nothing Italian about them, you know?
Now, what was it that they pepper sprayed you about? Were you actually giving a speech?
I was going to do a talk. I was invited by the college Republicans. I started this gang called the Proud Boys. And,
the Proud Boys?
The Proud Boys.
What's Proud Boys about?
We have chapters all over the world. We meet.
You
meet
started
once
it? You already
a month.
have chapters?
We get drunk and it's like the Elks Lodge.
Okay.
Like Masons or whatever.
Celebrating manhood.
Yeah, no woman allowed.
Ah, wow.
You can't tell your woman what goes on at the meetings. And we have different degrees, like the Knights of Columbus. First degree, you declare yourself a proud boy. Second degree, we beat the shit out of you until you can name 5 breakfast cereals, and you have to give up masturbating. And then third degree, you still have to give up masturbating, but you have to get a tattoo. And then fourth degree, you get arrested or in a serious violent fight for the cause.
Really?
Yes.
You get arrested in a serious violent fight, so you're promoting
or
violence?
Or some sort of major altercation.
You should erase that part.
Well, we don't encourage it, but if you're defending, like at the Berkeley thing with Milo, my guys, just 14 of them just walked into a mob of 200 people.
Just to get their stripes?
And said, I thought you guys were tough. No, they were doing it just for fun. And these people outside of pepper spray and clubs, they can't fight. Like at the NYU thing, my guys were beating them up. And he goes, this one guy we call Friar Tuck because he's just a monster. He goes, I started feeling bad after a while. Because I could tell these kids had never been in a fight. And I was just mowing through them. They're terrible fighters. They're total pussies.
Why are they fighting? Like, this is what confuses me. Like, why are they getting so angry that they're hitting people and spraying that girl in the face? The girl was really disturbing because she was talking to someone. She wasn't offering any threat. And she had a hat that looked like a Make America Great Again hat, but it said Make Bitcoin Great Again. They walk up to her. The guy hits her with a stick that's holding a sign. So he hits her in the head with a piece of wood. And she's like, what the fuck? And someone sprays her in the face with pepper spray. I mean, it's like... How, in any way, how could you ever, in any other scenario, justify beating a woman publicly for doing nothing but representing what you think is offensive? And you're even wrong about what she's representing.
Here's the problem with what you're doing, and I did this too much too. You're intellectualizing a fashion movement. This is the mods and the rockers in Brighton Beach in 1961. Just fighting each other because one likes Elvis and the other likes The Who. And if you were to sit down with this mod and this rocker and say, have a debate, they wouldn't say anything. They have nothing to say. It's leather versus parkas. It's Vespas versus Triumph motorbikes. There's no context there. So this guy is on this team and she's on the other team. And their tool is pepper spray, and that's what they're doing. They pretend, oh, I don't want to give you a platform. No, they don't want to give you and anything because they don't have anything to say. In fact, at the NYU talk, after I watched the pepper spray and I went and did the talk, they're all screaming, whose campus? Our campus. Whose? And I walk over to the mob with a microphone, and I have 2, and I go, come on up, come on up. And it was a radioactive cock I was handing him. Like he just went, oh.
Because it was a mic?
He shriveled up.
Because he wanted to be a part of the big group.
Right.
And didn't want to be an individual with an opinion and didn't exactly know why he was there in the first place or exactly know what he was protesting against.
That's why, like, Milo would kill to debate any of these people. He's been scrounging for an opponent.
But isn't that the real problem? Is that they're not debating. That's the real problem. I feel like this could be really productive if people could sit down, and Milo, by the way, will debate you. I mean, he might say outrageous things, he might say offensive things, but he will debate. He will sit in front of a podium, he will do his time, and anyone else that will have their time, and they will be able to take questions from the audience, and this could be very productive. And you could kind of figure out, like, look, you and I are not far left, and we're not far right. You know, neither one of us are. We're in some sort of a weird way. I think I'm maybe more left than you are, but I'm not as left as a lot of people I know. And there's a lot of people out there, and I think this left-right paradigm is really kind of fucking foolish at this point. And we should kind of figure out, like, what's what kind of opinions are okay to have because they don't interfere with anybody else's life, and it's just your philosophy and the way you look at the world, and you should be able to express that opinion and express those ideas in front of someone else who has an opposing idea, and they tell you why they disagree. And you should be able to consider why they disagree and see if there's any merit in that.
The problem with what you're saying is you're implying that these are all informed people, right and left, and they need to hash out ideas. No. These people on the right are intelligent people who have looked it up and want to debate. You want to see a good debate? Look at Pat Buchanan versus Sean Hannity, or Peter Brimelow versus some open borders libertarian like Matt Walsh or something, or someone from the Wall Street Journal. All the inner right fights are fascinating to me. These people are religious fanatics. For them, it's sports. It's the Dallas Cowboys is their team, and they want to fuck up your team. They don't want to debate. Like Jared Diamond, who did Guns, Germs, and Steel. Tons of flaws with that book. Steve Saylor was begging him for a debate. He wouldn't answer. Jared Taylor, John Derbyshire, all these, even Richard Spencer, all these far-right guys have made it clear they'd love to argue with anyone on the other side. And the other side knows that they will lose because their foundation isn't truth or information. Their foundation is just emotions. We're a nation of immigrants. Oh, everything's racist. Oh, gays are people too. And you're like, you think I don't think gays are fucking people? What is your point? I don't even understand your side of things.
Right. Well, I'm sure you saw that woman, excuse me, who's a middle school teacher who was a part of the protest at Berkeley.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was on Tucker Carlson's show, and she was talking about fascism, and she said that Milo is homophobic, even though he's fucking gay.
Yeah, he's a racist homophobe who sucks black cocks.
Yeah, it's so hilarious. And she was also saying that he promotes genocide. Like, you can't just throw those labels out, and I mean, it's a clear example of what we're talking about, because those labels allow her to do anything necessary to get you out of the mix.
Right.
And that's fascism. That is fascism.
Yeah.
That's authoritative. That's authoritative thinking, authoritarian thinking in a way that's eliminating someone else from expressing themselves because you have deemed them unworthy of expressing themselves. This is a racist. This is a homophobe. This is someone who promotes genocide. We will shut them down. Like that's nonsense. And you could see from her talking on that show that she talks over him. She doesn't express herself well. She doesn't have clearly thought out reasons for why she's saying he does these things. She doesn't have quotes that she's relying on. She doesn't say why it's so dangerous that he has these controversial opinions. She just says he's a Nazi, he's a racist, he's a homophobe, he promotes genocide, we're going to shut him down. Well, you can't just say that. You can't just label people, because someone could do that to you too, and they will. They will. That's the problem.
I forget her name, Michelle Yavelis.
It doesn't even matter what her name is.
She runs a group called By Any Means Necessary. But a game I like playing with these people is play it through. They do that at AA. They go, you want a beer? Okay, have a beer. Then you can have another beer. Then you're going to get Coke and the heroin, blah, blah, blah. Play it through.
Right.
And I always say to these people, play it through. So he wants genocide. Trump wants genocide. Okay, so he wants to kill what? Blacks and Mexicans? So there's a van that drives to this house in New Orleans and picks up these black people, and then they what? They go to a gas chamber? How does this work? What happens to their property? Is that divvied up? Does the state own that now? Like, are you talking about the Cuban Revolution? The irony is, by the way, whenever you start describing their universe, you end up describing Venezuela, Cuba, socialist countries, or you end up describing the Middle East. Oh, he's going to what? Throw gays off buildings? He's going to start stoning women to death who are rape victims? You have your villains right there, but you're purposely ignoring them. And the other thing that's going on here, which is still a theory I'm working on, but there seems to be a disturbing peek at what a matriarchy would be like. And I'm seeing a lot of women in these movements who are sort of vindictive and cruel. And like this woman we're talking about, you watch these videos and you hear like, fuck him up, get him. These women voices from behind the crowd, and I call them shit chests.
Like that woman from the University of Missouri. Can I get some muscle over here?
Yeah.
Remember her?
Yeah. She wants men to fight on her behalf. And Iron Man has that blue thing in his chest?
Yeah.
I don't think women are evil. Women are like Iron Man. They're magic, right? But by ripping out that blue thing, you're ripping out their ability to have children and be mothers and everything. And then you put in a piece of shit into Iron Man's chest. That's what feminists and like this woman are. They're shit chests. And they're malfunctioning robots, and they're like, bzz, bzz, Kill him. Milo wants genocide. Kill him.
So
Fuck
do you
him
think
up.
that they're imitating what they think are patriarchal societies? They're doing their version of it, and that's what they're doing with the whole matriarchal posturing?
Yeah, it's like Clark Kent. I want to write an article. I'm writing. No, you're not writing it. And you go, Clark, simmer down, dude. You write your article. I'm doing mine. No. And he crunches up.
Well, there's not a whole lot of matriarchal societies in the animal world other than hyenas. There's a few of them. There's a few where the females are larger than the males. A few bugs, especially. But hyenas, in particular, the female hyenas are much larger than the males. They even have fake dicks.
Really?
They have a faux penis. He has this big, large tube, fake dick that hangs down. They actually give birth out of it. And they climb on top of the males and they fuck them. And the speculation, there's a lot of speculation as to why the females are bigger, but one of them is that they think that she has to be bigger because hyenas are so goddamn ruthless. They eat their babies.
Oh.
So the female has to go, get the fuck away from the baby. And she gets on top of him. Fuck some, you piece of shit. That's my baby. I mean, there's no more, no pun intended, dog-eat-dog world than a fucking hyena world. You're out there fighting for scraps with lions.
Yeah. Well, I actually have described Antifa and these people as hyenas because that thing I was talking about at Berkeley where our guys went in and said, I thought you guys were like tough or something was his exact quote. And they're going, get him, fuck him up. And then the guys sort of give up because no one wants to fight them. They start walking away. And then someone runs up behind him, knocks him out with a flagpole. As they're screaming these Italian slogans, by the way, like "No fascista, antifascista," from the 1920s.
They're having fun.
They're playing a game. They're LARPing, and they knock him out. And then as soon as he's out, the hyenas come out, and then they start kicking his unconscious body, and they start grabbing. There really are like weird little. Yeah, it's online. You can find it.
Oh, fuck,
weird little
man.
ugly savages.
Here's the scary thing, man. You're going to invite right-wing people to do the same thing, and you're going to get some veterans, and you're gonna get some fighters, and
we do,
and it's gonna be horrific, man. It's gonna be horrific. And again, you start kicking their ass, and then they're gonna come back with weapons, and people are gonna show up with guns. It always leads to someone showing up with guns.
Maybe.
And if this keeps going.